Welcome. I am so excited that you're joining us today, and we have a great conversation going on that I can't wait to dig into. I'm Lauren Fogelman of Business Success Solution, and I show accounting professionals how to double their income working half the time. Today's topic is future-proofing your firm and your client's communication experience. And our special guest is Stephanie Von Jones. And you're in the right place if you're ready to improve the client communication experience, understanding more about how the role technology plays when it comes to communication, and getting the most out of the client relationship management systems that you have. I absolutely suggest that you have pen and paper ready because Stephanie is very generous with sharing information, tips, and next moves that you could be taking. Plus, we'll let you know how to be able to follow up with her for further conversation as we wrap up. But I wanted to share a little bit about Stephanie. She was first recruited as a receptionist in 2009, and Stephanie has a can-do, dedicated approach to really best serving her clients. And as a result of that, she moved swiftly up in Moneypenny, which is where she's working now. Actually, she is in the sales team, and she has been transferred to Atlanta in the US to really focus on business development in that segment. Now, Stephanie's passion for business development understanding and really what makes businesses unique is the fact that as her background, professional experience receptionist, they work happy in engaging clients, and they're the front line. So they know that taking care of their clients is the secret to success and having a business that stands apart as opposed to blend in. So basically what we're going to focus on today is really looking at the client service experience and how to be able to raise that. But like I said, she has lots of firsthand experience as a receptionist and how to be able to tailor communication in order to really raise the bar as far as that goes when someone's reaching out to your firm. So you can learn more about Moneypenny at Moneypenny, which is MONEYPENNY.com. But okay, Stephanie, let's just get started. I am so excited for our conversation today.
Me too, and thank you so much for inviting me and for the very wonderful introduction as well. It's an absolute delight to be here, and I hope I can inspire some people with some thoughts today.
I know that every time that we speak, I'm inspired and walking away with some new insight of how to be able to really improve the client experience. And before we step into really the questions that we have for today, just can you briefly share about your role with Moneypenny and what you do for them?
Of course, yes. So I've actually been with Moneypenny for over 14 years now. As you've mentioned, started as a receptionist and then worked more on kind of business development roles, working on developing our sector specific kind of industries. So I've been out in the US since last January. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And my role specifically looks at industries such as CPA, legal, franchise, and healthcare. So we actually cater for over 21,000 businesses globally in many varied sectors, providing them with telephone answering, virtual reception, live chat, and lead intake services. So I've had an incredible journey at Moneypenny, and that is here continuing in the US. And I'm very passionate about helping businesses grow, maximizing their marketing spend and offering a wonderful customer service to their clients.
Excellent. And one of the things that we were looking to really talk about today is really starting out with the easiest change a firm can make that improves the client experience and really starts to future-proof that firm moving forward.
Yeah, well, there's quite a few things that springs to mind really with this topic, and a really prominent one is kind of defining your company culture. So decide, for example, what your hybrid working model looks like, and then move confidently forward with it. So kind of creating jobs really that are really hard to leave. So if your employees are happy, then your clients will be happy. So it kind of equals an employee and client attrition to be really proud of. Excuse me. Also opening up and trying new channels of communication. So millennials, we know, actually prefer to communicate via live chat. So having a live chat kind of function is a great way to cater for everybody's needs in this ever-changing world. So live chat can actually link with Google Analytics. So you know exactly what's generating your leads, and then you can keep doing more of the same thing to give you the best future results. I always mention this one as well, kind of standing in your customer's shoes, experiencing your business from their point of view, and it can be such an eye-opener. So actually thinking of all the different ways these days that your customers can contact you. It could be that they like to call you, it could be that they like to fill out a form, or maybe contact you on LinkedIn, live chat, or other social media channels. So it's making sure that all of those channels are covered and that everyone has a wonderful experience, however they choose to get in touch. And that's not only your customers, it's your suppliers, prospects, friends, family, anybody at all that might be in contact with your business. Also being agile and continually kind of adapting and learning and personalizing communications. I'm really encouraging feedback. We're working on quite a big kind of feedback kind of project at the moment for our clients, just kind of figuring out what can we do better, but really kind of listening to what they say and experiencing the customer and their journey, and then making those tweaks can give you maximum effect to help you future-proof what you're doing.
So part of what I'm hearing is that it's an ongoing process of continuing to improve that initial contact. One of the things that I was wondering about with the live chat part, or just chat in general, is so often it starts off with a bot before it goes to a live chat. And what's been your experience or take on that when it maybe starts off automated as opposed to initially starting off with actually a real person there?
Yeah, so you can get live chat wrong, for example. So when we're speaking to prospects, they'll say, oh, I don't like those bots, they're not personalized and they don't get you to where you want. But actually, if a bot is executed correctly, and there is a kind of plan in place, and it's a triage bot that's been really thought out, the caller has no idea that it is a bot, but actually when they want a person, there can be a person in the background. So we find that bots are really good for a business that might have a lot of frequently asked questions on their website that doesn't really need a human interaction. But then if that customer does want that human, then they're in the background. For example, there could be a business that has a lot of recruitment resource, and they want a bot to cater for new talent inquiries. So the new talent inquiries come in, they don't necessarily need a person. A bot can take care of that and send them to a form to fill out, but then a person will either get back to them, or if they really do, again, want that human interaction, they can have it. So bots do have their place, but actually they need to be well thought out and executed well for them to work.
Mm-hmm. And that really brings up my next question for you about how the accounting firms can leverage technology, because it's a way of streamlining, and it is really going to overall enhance the client interaction. So can you kind of dig into that a little bit about the technology and how it enhances client interactions?
Sure. So it's a case of blending the tech with people, and that creates the ultimate experience. So I've mentioned then about a form that could be filled in to use a bot for, which will answer an FAQ, but actually that can create a cost-effective journey for the client and a seamless experience for the customer. If they've kind of embarked on a chat, then they're probably wanting to speak to a person. So actually having that person available will help them appreciate the live chat, and it's executed really well. Outsourcing and automating where you can, actually to take away from mundane tasks as well, and to avoid burnout's a big thing. So we've recently onboarded a client actually, and they wanted us to be a big part of their lead intake services. So we're asking the right questions, we're qualifying the inquiries, we're making life much easier for the client. And when they get an inquiry through, they know that it's valuable to them and they've got the time to get back to it, and they know exactly what that customer needs. Also using a robust CRM system. So, not only something that you can use in-house, but if you are integrating or using other suppliers, if they can also integrate with that CRM system, it helps to keep communications really accurate and seamless. And also using a lot more video conferencing, Microsoft Teams. So something that came from, our experience in the pandemic, we knew a lot of our clients were using Teams. So we embarked on a journey to develop Teams, and now we have integrated with it. So when we're offering our services to clients, we can not only transfer calls via the telephone, but we can do it via Teams as well. So there's lots of ways that you can leverage technology, but again, it's having that blended human and tech kind of thing to make it work.
One of the things that you bring up that I really want to highlight, because I think it's so important, is firm owners are busy people. The people that are serving the clients are really going to be very protective of their time. And I think that having someone that's answering the phones or able to respond through a live chat to qualify a prospect, I just see that as like a virtual gatekeeper. And that way you're able to really decide, is this someone who's a right fit, or maybe is there some other recommendation you need to give that clients and because they need to move on? Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, so we do that for a lot of our clients, and knowledge is power. So if we know what that client specializes in or what they're looking for, yeah, we can take away that step, but actually whoever's calling in or chatting with us, they're not getting a blank response. They're getting that empathy. They're speaking to somebody who's offering a great service. So they're having a great experience. Whether or not it's going to continue and we can help them, that's a different story depending on what that qualification looks like. But I think, again, it's that touch point and having that lovely experience, whether somebody can help you or not, it stays with you, doesn't it? So yeah, if I'm sorry, we can't help you this time, but actually this company might be able to help you, or we can help you with this, then that makes all the difference.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you letting me just dig into that a little bit more. So that starts to think about the strategies accounting firms are able to adopt in order to really keep that client experience relevant and that it continues to evolve in the digital landscape.
Yeah, it's kind of like going back to basics, I think. So, ensuring your availability. Are you advertising that you're available till 8 in the evening? And if anyone contacts you, are you free? What about urgent calls and, maybe calls that might require a rapid response? So availability, I think, is key. And if there are call handlers or anybody acting upon, your behalf, make sure that they're trained to act with efficiency and competence to ensure that callers are actually assured, as I've mentioned before. So, picking up a phone sometimes when you're busy and you've got other things going on, you might not be giving that full divided attention to whoever's on the other end of the line. So if you haven't got resource available, make sure that somebody's doing it for you, and, ask a trusted support outsourcing provider to help you. Also listening carefully as well. So dealing with those complicated queries successfully, it can require, a combination of preparation and listening and figuring out how you can help the caller or the customer. So I think, again, if you have got anyone answering the calls, having somebody understand your products and services, that can really, really help. And also responding empathetically and pragmatically and offering a step-by-step solution. It really gives customers clarity and can ease stress or help them make a decision as to whether they want to kind of instruct you. Also, I think efficiency is a big one. So if a customer hasn't got much time, they might need to log their inquiry quickly. They want to feel confident that's being dealt with. Providing instant solutions isn't always necessary, but again, it's going back to that, that customer service and making sure they've had the right information or they've been signposted to the right place. So it ensures that their customers' issues are being handled, or they're going to be contacted to make sure it's resolved. Handling with care. So callers can be nervous or they've got other things going on. It might be a sensitive issue. So it's respecting that and having that professionalism and having that shine through when you're on the call or the chat. And I think definitely handling sensitive situations. And if not, let the experts do it. That's what we're here for at Moneypenny. We haven't got the other distractions of phone ringing or admin work or anything like that. And then I also think, going back to the digital channels we've just spoken about, Lauren, if you do embark or explore anything new or digital channels, just make sure they're executed well. So if you have live chat on your website, it's no point it doesn't work if there's nobody to help or there isn't a robust bot in place. Many a prospect I've spoken with have got kind of a like a chat software on their website, but actually they're in the car driving or they're busy with a client. And if somebody wants to chat and there's nobody available, there's no point. It just creates a really bad experience. So they're kind of my key points, I think.
And some of the things that I found from my experience of using answering service is that you have some scripts available to really make sure that it is meeting a certain standard for your clients. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it depends on what the client wants or needs. So for example, we don't tend to be a scripted service. We're very reactive to the caller in some instances. But if a client comes to us and says, right, I need you to ask these questions, this is the call flow, if you like, that I want you to adhere to, we have the technology to be able to do that. So it means that we're getting all the information, it's easily presented to the client, our end, and then the customer has the best journey because we're getting the relevant information that the client needs. But actually, some of our clients say, I'd rather you be reactive to the caller and it's a little bit more of a kind of a personal experience without those questions. So either or, it can be achieved really, depending on what one would like.
And what I've seen is when we use it when we're in staff meetings so that someone's always available to answer the phone, or sometimes after hours, we will have that available as well, so that people, if they're in another time zone, can still reach us during their business hours. But what I really want to bring out about Moneypenny is the fact that you have a team that's dedicated to accounting firms, and they really understand the nuances of accounting firms as opposed to working with a wide range of different professionals in various industries.
Yeah, and that's it. It's the terminology and the types of calls that are coming in, and our team are very aware of those trends and those types of calls, and having that dedicated team. We have different industry teams at Moneypenny that solely live and breathe those types of calls, and it does make all the difference. And it's a unique selling point for our service, really, with all of our experience. In fact, at Moneypenny, 17% of our clients are actually within the CPA industry in the US.
Excellent. And you were mentioning about trends. So I'd like to understand any key trends in the client expectations that accountants ought to be aware of, and what maybe a tip would be to start meeting those needs?
Yeah, well, a recent global trends report actually that Moneypenny carried out across the US and the UK shows us a lot of things, really. 30% of people now make fewer calls to businesses than they did 3 years ago. 45% of people actually spend longer on the phone than they did 3 years ago. So digital channels are rising, but again, when the customer needs to make a phone call for an urgent or a sensitive matter, it needs that immediate response, and the right person needs to deal with the call. And we're finding that those calls are actually longer as well because of the nature of them, if you like. So again, it's a great impression that's created by connecting with the customer on a real personal level and showing empathy towards their needs, and so that they feel valued and understood. And other factors can be actually, just being friendly or patient and professional, again, going back to the basics. But it's actually also offering solutions that are actually tailored to the customer's specific situation. So if it's an urgent call and they get through to someone and that person can help point them in the right direction, then that's a great experience. Also, I think being available out of hours, as you've mentioned earlier, coast to coast or just covering different time zones, is a really fantastic way for a firm to stand out from competitors and add a real valuable layer to the customer experience. Some firms we work with in the US have a UK presence and they want to centralize and be available 24/7. That can be achieved with call handling. It can also be achieved with live chat as well, or maybe social media. So I think as long as all of these options are available and they are executed well, they are really effective. And also, I think, again, it's just taking away and going back to basics, really, and making sure that knowledge is power, and that anyone communicating with your clients knows what they're talking about. And again, when you do embark on digital channels, just make sure they're executed perfectly, and choose partners actually that you can work with to help you improve and evolve your business. So like our partnership, for example, Lauren, it's great when there are people that you can recommend services to as well. So if you can't do something, you can always suggest a really good idea or somebody that you trust to help them with their requirements.
And I think that what you're talking about is that the people that are through Moneypenny representing someone's firm, they're connectors. They want to connect with that person that's on the other end of the line or the chat, but also realizing that even if it might not be a right connection for that particular firm, they're looking at how to make a connection that's going to be memorable and give them maybe some next steps on how to move on.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We quite often have some of our receptionists calling us up and saying, do you know anybody that can help with, specialize, an accountant that can specialize in the manufacturing industry or whatever? And we might know from some networking that we've done. So we're always kind of thinking outside the box really and trying to help as much as we can.
And let's talk about how accountants are balancing digital communication channels with a personal touch. I know you started to dig into that, but was there anything else as far as that you wanted to add to it?
I think as well, going back to the people and tech solutions, you just can't forget about one or the other this day and age. So tech can actually frighten people in some respect, and it's trusting the tech that you're using, isn't it? But it's a really fast and effective way for people to get answers to things that they need on the other side of the trust and empathy and understanding that we all crave. So it's all about gold standard customer service really, and having the best people and the tech working together. But it's also about offering different choices and options. So digital can work, for example, for somebody who's maybe applying for a job with you. As I've mentioned before, it's a quick questionnaire that will take them to the form. But actually, if somebody has got specific questions about a service, or they are wanting to come and work with you and they've been referred by a friend and they really want to have a conversation with somebody, then it's having somebody from your team available to be able to have that conversation with that particular person. Also, a large percentage of the businesses that Moneypenny work with have naturally never been able to have access to the communication and the technology that we offer. So actually, we're really proud because we've been able to introduce tech to our clients, and now they're accessing it every day, and they're helping other businesses as well because they're talking about it. So small businesses and firms actually that come to work with us organically grow, and actually they're able to offer their customers great suggestions for technology. And we feel really proud that we're able to do that, but then also helping them enhance their customer journey as well.
And one of the things I just want to reaffirm is that everything you're talking about is really about connections, about connecting the firm owner in some way with the client experience, going ahead and expanding that. And that brings me back to something you mentioned earlier, which was about customer feedback and how it's used to continually evolve the process. So can you kind of go a little bit more into how you effectively gather and use the feedback?
Sure. So again, if you are going to get the feedback, it's really important to listen intently, and then kind of going back again and walking in your customer's shoes and experiencing what they experience, and then make the changes, but then also communicate to your customers that you've done that. So they know that you've listened. They might not know if you make the changes, in the future. So communication is key. And also platforms like live chat are a really good way to survey your clients at the end of a chat. How did we do today? Give us X stars out of 5. And then again, acting upon that feedback as quickly as you can. Account management teams are really important. So especially at Moneypenny, we have a robust account management team who are constantly in contact with our clients, asking them, how are we doing? How can we improve things for you? Continually checking with them to see how things are going. And that's been a really important part of our business growth as well. Writing surveys at the end of any communications or articles, asking your customers to participate. promoting live chat reviews. So even just this week, we were in a bid for some business, and actually the one thing that kind of made the client come over to us was the fact that we had a 5-star Trustpilot review. So we asked the question, why us? And that was what tipped them over to come over, because we were kind of at loggerheads with this other business. So that was pretty amazing. So keep on top of those Trustpilot reviews, get your account management team and other employees to ask for them, and celebrate your wins as well. And I know we kind of all do this, but that's one thing I think that's been really part of our success, especially at Moneypenny and with, working with CPA firms, is when we've done something great, or there's a story or success story that we can talk about, it can really add value, not just to our customers, but the client's customers as well. So involving them in any PR and communications, and we all know that it's always great to have people advocate and talk highly of you. So why not collaborate on that and make a big story out of it?
And I really appreciate the fact that you want to celebrate the wins as opposed to just focusing on what's not good enough, what's a problem that needs to be fixed. However, something I find that's exceptional about outstanding businesses is that they're open to feedback, which it sounds like that is part of the culture for Moneypenny, is that you want the feedback of not only what's going well and what got you that 5-star review, but where there's room for improvement. And the fact that somebody might share that with you and that you're paying attention and you're looking at how to implement that to improve the client experience, I believe is one of those things that makes Moneypenny really stand out when it comes to having that first contact with the client experience journey.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. And that's right. And, we do get it wrong sometimes and things do go wrong, but it's how quickly you act upon that. And again, if somebody's got a problem and it's resolved successfully and quickly and efficiently, then that's fine. And, again, we don't want that to be a repeating thing. So we fix it. Or, again, it's communication and listening and acting, quickly and being responsive, and all these things make up all elements of your customer service. We love it when things go wrong. We love it when things go right, but also when things go wrong, we learn lessons, don't we? And that's what takes you to the next level.
I probably learn more when things go wrong than when they actually go right.
Most definitely.
And I know that technology is such an important part of how firms operate now. Client relationship management systems, CRMs, how are they used to really manage communications effectively? Any thoughts on that?
Oh, so tracking and maximizing marketing spend. Every day at Moneypenny, we're talking with hundreds of people within our sales team, and we need to know where that leads come from, or which one of our referrers has sent it through. So again, we can celebrate that and track it, and again, future proof and think of where is best to spend our time and money in the future. Also tracking from referrals from clients, word of mouth and brand awareness is sometimes really hard to kind of keep a tabs on, but actually you might have a particular client who always refers. So again, having a CRM that can track this means that you can thank them, or again, look at these clients that have come on board and where can we talk about the celebratory stories, or what have we learned? And also who these people know. Again, it's all about business development. So this pool of people, or this referrer, who else do they know that could be, fly the flag for you, or advocate you, or who you can learn from, or who you can refer to. Also, again, CRMs will help you look at what's working and what's not. So tracking is continuous improvement. Introducing new services such as business advisory, for example, for an accountant. If you've got a CRM, you'll know who's asked you previously for those services. So I mentioned to you that we're doing lead intake at the moment. Now, we've been able to go out to our clients that wanted it, because over the last couple of years, we've been logging in our CRM who might have wanted that service. And, we can go back to them confidently now because we know who they are. Also, CRM systems do provide a really centralized database for everybody to be able to, have transparency over what's going on. So not just your sales team, but your marketing team, your operations team. So including all the contact details and communication history, financial data, preferences, which CRM systems they use, so we can look at integrations in the future. It's all about future-proofing those communications in that regard. And also being able to personalize the communication. So CRM systems actually enable accountants to segment clients based on various criteria, such as industry, size, service requirements. So it really allows for a personalized communication and a tailored service and actually targeted marketing efforts. And then automated communication as well. So accountants can use CRM systems to automate routine communications, appointment reminders, payment notifications, or tax deadline alerts, and being able to kind of ensure that the customers are receiving that in a timely and relevant kind of format as well. And a really, really important one is reporting and analytics. So we're constantly running reports over here at Moneypenny. You know, CRM systems provide reporting and analytic capabilities that actually accountants can really kind of analyze, and then they can then tailor-make their client interactions and measure that communication and effectiveness. And then that then can identify areas for improvement as well. So I definitely say the reporting and analytics is a real hot topic at the moment.
Well, one of the things I hear that you're doing that's actually similar to accounting firms is, I believe that accounting firms, they understand the story behind the numbers, and they're interpreting that in order for their clients to be able to then implement. And what Moneypenny does for firm owners is they understand the story behind the clients, and that they're able to really take all that insights from the CRMs and be able to interpret that in order for one of your client accounting firms go back and really improve the client journey, or maybe be aware of trends that are happening in order to make strategic decisions about how they're working with the clients and how they're serving them.
Yeah, that's absolutely well analysed, Lauren. And I'm actually running a bit of a campaign at the moment for some of our clients, and we've been able to really cherry pick who we need to speak with from our CRM, and it's just made that interaction really personalized, as I went to before. Rather than just receiving an email from us, it's personalized to them, and that makes all the difference. And we've had a great response from it. You know, we've had 3 or 4 appointments booked from that one email because it came from me personally, and it does really help. It's very effective.
And Stephanie, you made some powerful points today. You gave lots of tips and insights. I always enjoy our conversations together. And some of the things that we touched on is being able to improve the client communication experience. I think we really took a deep dive into that, looking how technology now plays a role in communication as a future-focused firm, and getting the most out of your CRM to really understand the story behind the client. So thank you so much. And if somebody that's listening to us wants to reach out, have a further conversation with you, what's the best way for them to do that, Stephanie?
Oh, thank you, Lauren. I've really enjoyed the conversation too. They can reach me on svj@moneypenny.com. We do offer a free trial of our service, but actually it's based on a consultative basis. So me or one of my team can have a chat with you and just figure out, you know, what your pain points are, what's intrigued you to get in touch, and we can look at a way of helping you. And just to kind of give a few takeaways from today as well, I think it's really important to be brave and try new ways of working, blend people and new technology, communicate with your customers, and really go that extra mile, and definitely celebrate those wins. So I'd be delighted to hear from anybody that would like to hear more about Moneypenny. And thank you again, Lauren. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. This is Warren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, showing accounting professionals how to double their income, working half the time. Until next time, we'll talk soon.